Composition of functions. This is another operation that we need to talk about. In a composition, a function is performed, and then a second function is performed on the result of the first one. So if you look at f of g of x, that little open circle down there, this right here, means the composition. And what that means is that we're going to put the answer that we get from g, we're going to put inside of f. On the contrary, if we look at g of f, you'll notice that it's g, or f, gets put inside of g. The range of one function is the domain of the other. So let me give you sort of an example or a visual, if we will. All right, so if we were to look at, let's say, f of x, let's say it was x plus 1. And let's say we have this domain 0, 1, and 2. So if I put 0 in for the x, I get 1. If I put 1 in there, I get 2. If I put 2 in there, I get 3. So that's f of x. So once we take, if we were to take those answers and put it inside of a different function, let's say g of x is 2x. Now what I'm going to do is take this circle. It now becomes my inputs. So we take this answer, if I put it into 1 in there, 2 times 1 is 2. If I put 2 inside, so 2 times 2 is 4, and then I put 3 in. So now this circle now that was originally the range of f now become the domain of g. So this here demonstrates g of f. All right, so here we're going to find the composition f of g of 4. So essentially what that means is f of g of 4. So you kind of like start from the inner core and work yourself out. So we're going to put 4 inside of g. So that would give us 4 squared plus 4 minus 1. You writing this down? Should be. So it gives us 19. So we're going to find f of 19 now. So that gives us 22, excuse me, 22. All right, so we're going to find g of f of 3. So this means that. So the first thing that we're going to do, again, you start at the inner core, so we're going to put 3 inside of f. That gives us 6. We're going to take that answer, and now we're going to take all of this and put it into g. So there's our final answer, g of f of 3. G of 7. So again, this means g of 7. Start in the most inner core, we'll put 7 in there. So g of 7 is 13. Now we're going to put that back in, 13 in there. Okay, so I think this one, let me draw that little map that we did. So in our domain, we put it inside of G. So we put in 7, it outputs 13. And then we put 13 as our domain. And that gives us 25. So you kind of see how that progression works. Sometimes you might want to have to put in an expression. It's not a number now. So this means, whoops. All right, sometimes we put an expression in. So now we're going to, this means f of g of 3 of x. Again, you start in the most inner. We're going to take all of 3x and put it inside of g. Then we're going to get an answer. We're going to put the whole thing into f. All right, so let's find g of 3 of x. So replace the x with 3x. Simplify that if possible. So 3x times 3x, 9x squared. Now we're going to take that answer and put it into f. So 2 times 18x squared plus 5. So again, if I were to kind of map that out for you, here's our domain for G. Okay, that outputted, this is our domain, that outputted 9x squared for our range. Then what we did, we put it into F, and that outputted 18x squared plus 5. Again, so you can kind of see that progression. All right, so take a moment on your notes, because I know that you took some right. If you didn't, guess what? You get to go back and rewatch this video. Summarize. Today I learned. Summarize what we just went over.